Hi friends, welcome back. I am DJ Montague, and today we are talking about the new hunter in SUPERVIVE, Ava. And to all the gooners out there, you're welcome. Jesus Christ, this character is stacked. Oh, let's get into it. All right, well, let's take a look at her kit. First up, let's start with the passive, Kiss of Death. Standing or executing enemy wisps heals for 37.5 health per second and refunds 4 seconds of your ability cooldowns per second. This includes ult, which is pretty strong. Stomping wisps is nothing to sneeze at on this character. And even if you get the Stomp Wisp boots, it's not bad either. Usually nowadays, you're going to want to take the increased glider fuel boots. I think those are pretty insane. Anyways, not a bad idea. Her LMB, Corrupted Tether. Hold to connect a beam that changes its effects based on what it hits. Enemy Tether does damage every 0.25 seconds. The ability power ratio is not great on this, but it does damage very quickly and consistently. So if you are fighting somebody over the abyss, think of it like Ghost. If you get the advantage in the height advantage and they are out of shifts, you basically just auto win. The damage increases up to 183.3%, basically 200% at 2 seconds and beyond that. While the tether is attached, refund 10 mana per hit, 40 mana a second, basically pretty strong. Ally Tether, healing your ally for 16 plus 6% ability power, health every 0.25 seconds. Heal increases by up to 100% over 2 seconds. Again, at 2 seconds, you are going to be at 100% increased healing. This seems pretty low amount of healing, but you can stack it with your orb. Costs 5 mana per 0.25 seconds when healing allies. So 20 mana a second. Orb Tether, heal your orb. Orb size increases with the health of the orb. Like I said, you could stack the tether and the orb healing, or you could just choose to heal the orb itself and increase the health of the orb for no mana cost and still heal your ally. While healing your orb, you can drag to move your Orb of Argos, your R&B. This is the basis of her kit, which is area denial and safe areas for your teammates. Her RMB, Orbs of Argos. Launch an abyssal orb that heals allies for 80, which is a lot more than your LMB, plus 20% of your ability power and damages enemies for 100, plus 48% of your ability power per second. This is a ton of field advantage for your team. The orb effect grows based on its health. Orb loses health when it heals allies and gains health when damaging enemies. The orb can be healed with Corrupted Tether, and standing in your orb grants you 15% movement speed bonus. Now, I personally go double dagger on her, and I take the movement speed dagger with dash cooldown reduction, because I think personally that's her only issue is her movement speed. Now, at level 2, you get -2 seconds on the cooldown. Really strong. At level 3, you get 1 additional charge, which is insane. And at level 4, you get 25% increased orb area, which I personally think is the better of the 3 choices you have for your level 4. And I will also get this to level 3 at level 5 almost immediately, because I think 2 charges is almost necessary. Next up, we have her left shift, which is Sashay. Become incorporeal for 0.1 seconds and gain 80 bonus movement speed that decays over 2 seconds. This is good just to get through targets. If you're being surrounded, being body blocked, and you need to move through something, that's the only reason you're incorporeal for 0.1 second. Level 2 and 3 are both cooldown reduction, and level 4 is increased dash distance and duration. Not a bad level 4 max as well. I think all of her level 4 options are pretty good and they have their uses. Next up, we have Beckon. Now, this is where I think her kit all comes together. Her orb is very strong in area denial. Also, her having the ability to displace targets with Beckon is also insane. Fires out ethereal hands that drag enemies towards you. Applies anti-heal on pooled enemies for 4 seconds. Nuts. More anti-heal in this game and on a healer. That's crazy. No healers currently have any sort of anti-heal, which is pretty nuts. And this one does. I mean, unless you count Bibu as a healer, which he's not. So, you know, that's why I said. The level 2 is -5 seconds. Level 3 is -5 seconds. Again, making this a 10-second cooldown is really strong. It's tough if you want to max Shift second or Beckon second. The level 4 on this fully heals orbs on contact. It is on the contact of the pull, not when the skill goes through the orb itself. And finally, Sinner's Embrace. Throw a demonic pillar that binds all enemies in the area for 4.5 seconds. Enemies caught in the pillar's area must stay in the area or destroy the pillar. The pillar gains 350 health per enemy tethered. So it can have, I mean, in most team fights, you might get 1, maybe 2 targets. So 700 health is not very good. 350 health, not great either. I don't think her ult has enough health, but I think they should bump it up to 450. So it takes at least 2 shots from certain characters like Kingpin or something like that. The enemy leaves the area, the binding breaks, stunning them for 1.8 seconds and dealing 100 plus 50% ability power damage. Your level 2 is -20 seconds of cooldown, and your level 3 is increased by 50% damage. Now, I think that this ult is awkward if you are brand new to Ava. If you are comboing it with Beckon, this becomes so sick in the ways that you can manipulate the battlefield. It has quite a long travel time for something that is an ult and something that is a pillar, but it makes sense because you're comboing it with Beckon usually to force a guaranteed stun on targets. Now, her kit is forced to work together with itself. Now, a lot of kits you see in this game independently can just make plays on their own right. I think that everything in her kit has to work together. Okay, I'm gonna try and explain this the way my brain works. Her kit forces itself to be extremely well understood by the person playing Ava because she doesn't dump a lot of damage at any given time. She can hit you with a Sinner's Embrace, an Orb of Argos, and her LMB at the same time to stack up damage, but individually, she doesn't put out a lot of damage very quickly at all. She's not a burst mage. She has the availability to do some okay damage, but unless you really understand how her kit works, unless you really understand how to combo, I think you're gonna have a tough time on this character. Okay, let's get into some of her more niche things that people will learn over the course of playing Ava. First of all is her orb interactions. Now, just know that anytime you're holding LMB on anything, you can still cast spells, including shift. So you can jump, move around a little bit, move around this orb, put it around this wall, take this orb, drag it over here, and shift backwards, stuff like that. It's good to know that you're not completely isolated when you are holding LMB. Now, another thing, when you are using Beckon, I think it's going to have the most skill expression of this character. Now, you can put it at max range, throw it, and it will go to its max range and come back to you. But also, you can throw it at your feet, it will stop early and go all the way backwards. So you can use this ability to disengage really well. Also, you can use this ability to put your orbs at a better range quicker than if you were just throwing your orb with right click. Throw Beckon backwards and throw the orb to nearly max range with Beckon. Say I'm fighting against someone like a Shrike. I don't want to be standing out and boxing a Shrike out and getting 2 shot in the face, so I'm around this wall. Well, Strike is a force to then be on the other side of this wall. I can use Beckon to force the orb on the other side of the wall and force the Strike into moving. These are some ways that you can use Ava to control more space. Now, when you are looking to ult a target, most likely you're just going to look for the stun. You don't really want to look for the damage on the ulti because it doesn't do very much in general, and also it has really low HP. You can get one shot by most targets, so really only look to combo your ulti with Beckon and force targets out of your ulti tether quickly so you can stun them. Unless you're getting a 2 or 3 target ulti, there's really no reason to leave it hitting a target because they're just going to shoot it anyway and get rid of it pretty quickly. When Beckon displaces a target or displaces an orb, it will always go to the exact end of Beckon. So your orb and the target that you displace will end up in the exact same spot, being pulled together, so you're stacking damage and then able to move them back without wasting your shift. And one last thing to note, your orb is considered damage over time, very similar to Felix's passive, so it will not spike targets if they are gliding through your orb over the abyss. Something to note, kind of a bummer since that is the whole point of area denial with this character, but I understand because it would be really easy to spike people when in your air-to-air duels. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, my intro to Ava guide. Hopefully you enjoy the character. I'll be playing her quite a bit on day 1, having got acclimated to her kit on our little test realm. I think this character is gonna be really fun, but I don't think she's going to be like meta defining. But I think for the people that will play her, they're gonna have a lot more fun with this character than I guess something like a Luna. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment down below if you're excited to play Ava and get Dommy mommied all over the place and just have tons of orbs. And check out the stream, DJ Montague on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.